All right. Welcome to another episode of Connect and Politic. We're here with a special guest. Please introduce yourself by telling us your name, where you're currently located, and your favorite snack.
My name is Natalie. I'm located in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. My favorite snack is probably Cape Cod chips.
What are those? Are potato chips?
Yeah, yeah, potato chips.
Okay. Huh. Is it a special brand or?
Yeah, it's the brand. They're better. They're like better than Miss Vicky's. They're just like regular potato chips,
Uh,
and they're just good the way
nice,
they are.
nice.
Yeah,
Do you remember your favorite food as a child?
I wasn't picky. I just love food,
Just anything.
anything.
What did you eat a lot of?
I ate a lot of food, like a lot of, shepherd's pie, spaghetti, sandwiches, cereal, muffins, cake, veggies, fruits,
Uh,
everything.
you just eat it. I got you. I got
Just eat it.
you. So, okay, do you have a favorite meal now as an adult?
um, I kind of dig the Hellman's recipe that's like Parmesan crusted chicken, but I don't do dairy, so I just do like and I don't do gluten, so I instead of like breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese, my mom's like redone it for me where it's like just like um grinded um tortilla chips, like corn chips, and then the mayo on top of the chicken, and you put it in for like 25 minutes. And,
Nice. When was the last time you had that?
I would say like a month ago. Yeah.
Nice. Good, good. What's your fondest memory from childhood?
Spending time at the cottage during the summer with my cousins, family. It was just like everything there was it's like you escaped reality going there, and it was just all about like love and family, peace. It was just peaceful.
And this was, so you said your cousin, so it wasn't just your immediate family, but it's like
No,
the
so it's
entire.
my grandparents' cottage, so like we'd all go there,
Got it.
and so different cousins and aunts and uncles would be there, but usually it would be like um my mom's sister Paulette, and then like my cousin Ashley, and then like me. And yeah, we just like sometimes they'd make a picnic and we'd go on a canoe ride. We go to the island, like have our picnic and come back, and I just miss that. Like, I didn't have to row or anything back then. If I
Hmm.
want to do that today, I got to do all the work myself.
Nice. So, is there anything you miss about childhood?
I miss i miss almost everything. I miss having little to no worries. I miss not knowing how certain parts of life can be challenging and hard. um I just miss how easy it was. Like it was fluid. It was just like bliss. And then you kind of, grow up and learn things and see things. So yeah,
So you miss it all.
I miss it all, almost all.
Is
Yeah.
there is there something you don't miss?
Yeah, I don't miss my father. He was abusive, so I don't miss that part. That was the only part of my childhood that really like wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think your childhood helped groom you into who you are today?
Mm, I think it grew me to be like how it helped groom me into who I am today. I had to learn a lot like really young. So I think like I learned how to be empathetic and compassionate from a young age because like my mom was sick often. And so I think I learned that from that area. And then I learned just like respect and manners. uh some kids grow up and they don't have that, and so I think that definitely helped me, like, be polite and, be around people and know like how to act and stuff. Um, I think I get a lot of my humor from like being around the people I grew up around. So I think that's helped me a lot in life, like to make people at ease. It's also a coping mechanism. So like, you use your humor to kind of like not feel so awkward and stuff like that. Um, my love for animals too, like that. I got a lot. Ooh, I don't know. I heard a big ring.
Yeah, it sounded like keep going.
Yeah. So all those things just grew me, and like both my parents, like going back to the compassion and the empathy, it's like they both worked in the hospital at the rehabilitation center, so I saw a lot of like amputees and like burn victims. So like from a young age I just saw like a lot. And like, I remember being like, oh mom, why is he like that? And like eventually like I learned to be like, oh okay, well, don't, like, I wouldn't stare or be like awkward. I'd be like, oh hi, yeah, just treat everybody like another human being.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you grew up with both your mom and your dad?
Yeah, on and off.
Okay. What are some of the most important lessons you learned from them?
um it's funny how you often remember the bad things, like, because they helped shape you a lot.
Yeah.
um but I would say, um sorry, I went like in memory mode there. What was the question? What I learned from them?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's actually that's something that uh it's something we don't do as much as adults, right? So we don't reflect a lot.
Hmm.
And a big part of these conversations that I have, that's what I'm helping folks do actually.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you just like what you just experienced is
Yeah, like
exactly
completely zoned out. I was like living it. I was like, oh, okay, where am I? Okay,
yeah.
let's come back.
The question was really um from both your mom and your dad, what were the most important lessons that you learned from them?
um, my dad did teach me like one good thing, and it was like how to treat animals. Like, well, sort of like, um, he just see like you treat them right and stuff like that. My mom taught most of the things really that really, I guess you could say my dad taught me how to kind of analyze from far away, like, ah, how that person is would treat me. Like you could almost kind of tell like that person has kind of like a darkness to them, like they might not be a nice person even though they're like charming in person. Like I just have that sense now, like, ooh, he's giving me like my like a vibe like from my dad. I feel like that's not a good person.
Wow.
um and my mom, she taught me like so many things. She taught me how to cook from home. She taught me how to be caring. She's so caring. Like that motherly thing. So I love to care for people. Um, she taught me how to. She's a very positive person. So even though I tend to be like negative, she taught me how to like look at like the brighter side of things, and to try to not focus on the negative, or like, take it one day at a time, things like that. um yeah, I'd have, that's like a question I'd have to think a lot more about, but for now that's pretty much what's coming up.
Yeah, no, those are good. What are your favorite things to do for self-care?
Epsom salt baths, um herbal teas, um you know, just spending time like alone. I grew up, even though I have a half sister, um, I grew up raised pretty much like an only child. So my alone time is, I like a lot of alone time. I like need it to recharge. I need it to ponder and think and reflect and just like, I don't like too much socialization. So I think for me it would be like to like, set boundaries and respect like that I do need my alone time. Um, and to um, treat myself with some potato chips and herbal tea and an Epsom salt bath and like some time with my dog just sitting in the grass in the yard and looking like at the clouds or like feeling the wind on your face or in your hair. Like just like the simple things like that, like feeling the sun like on your face. Um, yeah, mostly all of those things are like alone. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say that's, yeah.
Yeah. So you enjoy spending time with self.
Yeah. Too
What
much probably.
what are some things you do for self growth?
Self growth. Ooh, I'm very scared of self growth sometimes. I'm like, ugh, why? I don't want to grow more because I feel like to grow more, you need to learn more like lessons, and often the times those lessons are hard. But for self growth, I like to read like, or like I said earlier, like to you, watch a lot of things like documentaries. I find I've learned so much watching documentaries. I've learned about like chemicals in our products and um, things in our food, you know, um, things about like discrimination, race. I've learned about the environment. Uh, I've learned like things like from history and things like that. So I think learning for me is like a lot of self growth because you learn so much from that. And then there's also like trying new things. I think that always helps you grow a little bit, even though if you're like, for me, a lot of new things are scary, but I think that definitely helps you grow. Um, and sometimes just like really like, it's like writing in your journal when you're really frustrated. You'll like, it's like you kind of have like a little growth from that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So you said trying new things. Have you tried anything new recently that helped you grow?
Tried anything new recently?
And recently could be, 12 months, the
Oh,
last.
okay. I was like, I've been pretty busy. Like, I moved a month ago, so I'm like, no, not really. I guess like moving is something new.
Yeah.
Really didn't like that. Still not liking it. But something new. What did I do? Um, I've tried a lot of new things, but not that I would say like for like, is it still for self growth?
Yeah. I mean, something that you tried and you felt like this helped me grow.
Okay, so I did go to like this group for like mindfulness group with like different people, with different like mental health issues, and I that was very scary for me to be like around a bunch of people and like talk about my issues and stuff. But I did grow from it, and I did like learn a lot.
Mhm.
That was definitely like a big thing. So I would say that probably in the last 12 months is what stands out like the most to me. Um, and I started like a new account on Instagram, uh, just for my like chronic illness side of me.
Mhm.
So I have like my one Instagram that's like just like, you know, me. And then I have like the reality that not everybody wants to see, but that I can express. And so it took a bit of a push, but I had like a fellow warrior, we call ourselves, or spoonies, and she helped me like gain the courage to like start that account. And like ever since then, it's just like breathing fresh air. Like it's like so much weight off my shoulders. Like it's like I'm understood. Like I don't have to explain myself at all.
Huh. I've li- I've I just grew. I just learned something. I've never heard.
You just grew a little bit.
So okay, so I mean, there's so much. Okay, I usually don't dive deep into things because there's so much I want to ask about other things. But um, just real briefly, are you saying so now you have two accounts?
Hmm.
One of them, you know, I guess you're sharing your ideal self,
Yeah.
and then the other, you're sharing your real self.
Hmm.
And so, are your followers the same people that are following you on both accounts, or to
No, so
no one knows about the other account?
some people know,
Okay.
because I think it kind of tells like you're already friends, like, oh, this person has this new account, like follow their new account or something, because some
Mm.
of my family members and friends have like seen it and asked to follow, which is fine. Because the people that ask to follow are obviously okay with that side of you. But almost all of the people except for two people are like all people like me who have like a chronic illness.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so, is this something? So, this is a known thing. Like, is it within the chronic illness community? It's known that you would have, you know, two accounts, or
Most of the people do. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Yeah, this is completely fascinating, and
Yeah.
I'll have to. I mean, we'll have to do a part two because there's so much, but it's gonna take. It's literally gonna take a 2 hour discussion. 'Cause
It's a
um,
whole chapter of a book, you know,
yeah,
or a whole
exactly,
book, really.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so actually, that actually ties it. So, if you were to write a book, what would it be about?
Ooh. Oh my goodness. I've always wanted to write a book. Like books. Ooh, what I would want to write the most. Hmm. I would probably have to be how my life went from like being, I guess you could say, normal to like learning that this was my new normal. So like it would be like a before and after kind of like a book, yeah. Because you I didn't know this till someone said it to me and it made so much sense to me. And they're like, when your life changes or is significantly impacted by something, be it like, you know, you lost someone in your life or something that really affects you deeply, like chronic illness for my case, you have to kind of grieve that person because you're never going to be like that again, most likely.
Hmm.
So I think I would just write about that, like, because I didn't know. There's so many things I didn't know that if I did know, I think it would have been a bit easier of a transition and to understand that, like, you're just like not alone. Yeah.
Got it. What do you do in your professional life, and is it any different than what you dream about doing as a kid?
Hmm. I mean, my mom was like a secretary as a kid, and I kind of like I'm an inpatient clerk at the hospital. Not that I'm working right now because I'm like on sick leave, but I very much enjoy it. It's a fast-paced job. It helps people, and I love that. I like to me, it's I'm doing something that matters. But if I was to say any other job that I would have chosen, um, they were all in fields like of like either like police or like paramedic or like something like that. But my dream job would have been like a veterinarian. I just like love animals so much. Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
Um, are you considering pursuing being a vet or working with animals?
No,
No.
no, I don't think I would be a vet at this point in my life. maybe like a vet tech,
Mhm.
but it's really sad, but they're like severely underpaid for the amount of work they do. And like, yeah, I just wouldn't see myself going to school, because like a vet is like becoming a doctor, like you're in school for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big commitment. But I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, well, like my job, I get paid very well, for my opinion. And then if I was to be a vet tech, like that would probably cut my pay by like, I don't know, I'd say like 40%. Like it's a pretty big dip, but I think I'd be happier in the end because it's animals. So it's like, like
Yeah.
it's a struggle to choose between the two. But
Yeah.
I think the right answer would be to go work with animals. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is there something on your bucket list to learn or do?
Ooh. I've always wanted to take like Latin dance lessons.
Mhm.
Um I remember going to the club and like not knowing what I was doing, and like like 10 minutes before the club opens they like teach you a little bit about it, but you're not going to know, plus you're drinking, so it's just not the same thing. But um that's something I always would have wanted to do, that. And like I'm fascinated by Pilates, and I found this class where it's like you just have to like look up a Pilates table. It's like fascinating, but you can tell you need to level up to that. Like you can't just go and work out on that table. Like you'll probably really hurt yourself. But yeah, so Pilates and Latin dancing,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, I think those are my bucket list for sure.
Nice, nice. Uh, can you think of any advice that you would give your younger self?
Just take it one day at a time. Don't overthink. Live in the moment. Um, yeah, I would just be like, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be like okay.
Mm,
Um, yeah,
yeah,
just breathe.
yeah. What's the best advice you've received about money?
Oh, that would definitely be from like a mortgage broker. I applied for like not applied for a mortgage, but I wanted to know what I had to do and what like your credit and your finances have to look like. So I learned that you're never supposed to go over 80% of your max on your credit card, and that you should always pay it in full on that month, like when your next bill comes out. And I learned that you like, yeah, like just don't buy stuff that's not in your financial lane. Yeah. I've actually become like quite a minimalist compared to how I used to live.
Yeah. And was it difficult to transition to minimalism?
Um, it's funny because when I look back, I'm just like, I know that person would have been like, yeah, right. But now that I look at it, I'm just like, oh, this is like so easy. It's actually more simple to live this way.
Mm,
Yeah. Like the things I used to spend money on, did they buy me happiness? Yeah, for like, a day, max a week. Um, but material wise, like my dog doesn't count. It's like a lifetime happiness. But um, yeah, like material wise, you don't really need any of it, really. Like, you need a roof over your head, food, and like, yeah, a bed is nice to sleep on, but that's it.
got it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we'll definitely do a part two.
Okay, so we're at 3 parts now. Okay.
What has been the toughest thing you've had to tackle and will help you get through it?
Oh, um, the toughest thing I've had to. Ooh, you have some good questions. So I think for me, it was just to learn. So it was like when I was 12-ish about, I had to get back surgery and that changed my whole life. Like I was a gymnast, I did played soccer, I did swimming. And so for me that like it kind of like crushed my spirit for a while. And so I had to learn to live again in different ways. So like drawing, reading, playing video games, spending more time outside, but like not doing like high impact stuff, but like things I still enjoyed. Like, so I learned about yoga and like massages and going to the spa, like things like that.
Yeah.
Um, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was definitely hard.
What was your you mentioned playing video games. What was your favorite game?
Ever? World
Well,
of Warcraft, hands down.
okay. During during that time, that's what you was playing as well?
I will still play that if I had a 10K PC right now. Actually, give me a crap PC and I'll play it. But I got a pipe burst a couple months ago or last year, and it right over my PC.
Wow.
Yeah. So I haven't been playing since then. So I got a PS4 and I've been playing like Ark. It's like a survival game with dinosaurs. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Um, when I say happy, what comes to mind?
My dog, my mom, my family, food, nice weather, um, just like, yeah, or like just dancing in the rain, like when it's pouring rain, naked.
Dancing in the rain naked.
You have to do it. And if you can, do it with someone else. If you have a significant other, next time it's pouring rain, I want you to go out in your yard and
so,
just,
so
yeah.
you know that's what I'm gonna title this
No.
this interview. Why I love dancing in the rain naked.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get a lot of
You don't know because you've never done it. You don't know what you're missing out on.
no, I know, but I'm saying I think there's gonna be a lot of people interested in the video just from that
Yeah.
title.
Yeah,
Um,
the feeling is like it makes you feel like you're a kid again. Like it's just rejuvenating. It's amazing.
nice. Why I love dancing in the rain naked. All right,
Hmm. Yep.
that's your title, so you already know.
Yeah.
What are qualities or character traits do you admire in other people?
Um, I kind of get a bit confused in what those individual words like. What's character and traits again?
So qualities and character traits, it could be someone that's honest. It could be people that are extremely responsible,
Okay.
loving. Is any character, um, uh, action that defines someone?
Okay. Honesty is a big one. I have like no filter and like I say it how it is and I know it's hard sometimes, but I would rather just have someone be honest with me, so I admire that a lot. Um I admire people who know how to balance like their work life with their personal life. I admire that so much because I find people have a lot of trouble doing that and it's like so important to not be too much in either. Um I admire people who like helping others. It's just like, I mean, yeah, it makes you feel good, but for the most part, it's selfless. Um, I admire people who are like eco-conscious, like, they're not gonna just like throw garbage on the floor and like they'll recycle, or like people who um I don't know, there's like something like my sister and then like my a friend I've made, she was a neighbor at once, but like we're really good friends now. And it's just like there's men like this too, but mostly it's women, and it's just like that mother instinct that they have, like they just make you feel so relaxed. And like I don't know if that's a quality or a character trait, but it's
Yeah.
just like that's one thing I admire. I don't know that I have it, but it's like a gift. Seriously. um and I admire people who just um they're just like full of love. Yeah.
Nice. For a fun question, if you won the lottery tomorrow, what will you do?
Alpaca farm.
You'll do what?
An alpaca farm.
You will. And where?
So I would get a piece of property,
Okay.
and whoever would want to come and live on there, they could get like their own piece of land. That's fine, as long as we kind of have the same morals and values.
Hmm.
No littering or anything like that. And then like my mom wants a goat and a donkey. That's fine, but I just want my alpacas. So like a herd of alpacas. They're like the aliens of the world.
So, aren't they
They're like mini
native to
llamas.
Peru?
Yes. Like
But
Argentina and Peru, yeah.
yeah, so would you have to? Because there's a certain climate that they're.
So they actually adapt to most climates, really.
Okay.
People have them like all over the place now. There's like super popular now, but I love them like far before.
Hmm.
Yeah. Their fertilizer, you could actually like their manure is amazing fertilizer. So you could actually sell their manure. It's very rich. It's and their fiber, you can make like everything with it. So my dream would be to like there's companies that already do it, so that's where I got the idea. And it's like they make duvets out of alpaca fibers.
Hmm.
And the difference is that the alpaca fibers and the duvet will actually like cool you down if you're hot and warm you up if you're cold. It's like,
Nice.
yeah, like how it would work on them. Like they're, yeah. So, and then I would like definitely pay off my cousin's school debt. Um, I would invest a lot in myself, honestly, me and my mom. There's just so many things you can't, even though in Canada we have like free healthcare, there's a lot of things that aren't free that could really help people. Like Botox for migraines is not free. And then like the new migraine injection drugs, they're not free. It's like $625 a month. I don't have that kind of money. So I would get that. And I would just like help out the people. I would probably, I know it would mean a lot to my mom, and I'm totally down for it, is kind of like open like a sanctuary for women with children or women alone who are in an abusive like situation, and they need like a place to live for a bit and save up and just like be safe.
Mm.
um and I'd probably like rescue a lot of dogs.
Got it.
Yeah. um
No,
I'd
that's,
obviously I donate some too, but like to what, I don't know exactly at this point.
yeah. No, those are great. Um, when I say forgiveness, what comes to mind?
Pain. Pain and growth. Yeah.
Nice. Is there anyone um, that you would like to thank or express your appreciation for that you haven't had the chance to yet?
um I appreciate everything my grandpa built for us. He was a really hard worker, and he was like the like one in, you know, I don't know how many men, like there's just not a lot of people like that anymore. Like he did everything for his family. He was like a family man. And so like I just thank him for that, because without it, I wouldn't have the family I have. I wouldn't have the childhood I would have had. I wouldn't have had a role model, like, or like a father figure of some sort that um was deserving of a father figure. And so I would just like to thank him for everything he did, even though he's like not with us anymore. He showed me like how a woman should be treated, how children should be treated, um, and like, yeah. So I'd like to thank him from the bottom of my heart for that, for sure.
Do you want to state his name?
Yeah, his name's Guy Leclerc.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So for our final question, how do you
Mhm.
define success?
To me, success is when you find you're happy. Like, to me, like, it's always been like that. Like, for me, it's definitely not money and cars and stuff like that. Yeah, it helps, sure, but for me, it's just like to find your balance and your happiness, and like to know yourself and be at a point in your life when you're like happy with yourself, and yeah, just happy.
It's a great way to end. We connected, we politic, and we'll do this again in the near future. Thanks a
Great,
lot.
thank you.
Thanks.